Hello, everyone, and welcome to Guidant Global's Operation Endure and Transform. I'm Andy Erlichman. I lead the channel partner strategy for Guidant Global, and we're excited this week to have a discussion about remote work specifically. I have Rory Spanier here, who is an industry thought leader and works for Toptal, who is a fully distributed organization. So hello, Rory. Welcome to the discussion. So,
Yes.
Rory, would love to hear your thoughts and insights into remote work and what that means to you and your organization.
Yeah, thank you, Andy. Very excited to be here today in our partnership with Guidant Global. Toptal is the world's largest fully distributed company, meaning we don't even have a corporate headquarters. Everybody, including our CEO, works remotely, as well as our talent network. So Toptal has the top 3% of world's elite talent, project managers, product managers, developers, designers, and finance professionals. So even the talent works remotely from where they are. We're pioneers in the space where we're changing the world of work and the way people go to work and the way organizations access high-end consulting talent.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and we are excited about the partnership as well. And one of the main reasons is, we initially, several months back now, we saw the rise of remote work and that being the future. The future is now all of a sudden. So it's amazing that, your platform really was built to support this. So some of the things, I've been working from home for a long time. I know you have too, for the better part of 20 years, not to date you or anything. But how about some best practices on being a remote work force or a remote worker?
Well, I think you need to be very purposeful in creating a corporate culture, especially when you're talking remote-based workers, because you're not able to go to the water cooler. You're not able to walk down the hall and talk to help desk to upload an application onto your computer. So, our onboarding experience is very different than anything I've ever experienced in the past. It's a very purposeful, structured arrangement where we're paired up with a mentor within our organization that are helping us understand the corporate culture. They're helping us, pointing us to go to this place for this application. The onboarding process is very structured and very thorough. I think it's we're very purposeful with understanding objectives and setting expectations. So you have you're starting off with weekly check-ins, and then you're looking at 30, 60, 90-day goals. And it's really helping to give people an understanding of what their expectations are and how to perform to those expectations. And I think you need to be able to communicate and over-communicate when you're working remotely. Some of the tools that we're utilizing, we're very heavy on video conferencing. So we've been utilizing Zoom, and it's a great way to be able to see people eye to eye and build those relationships, even though you're not seeing them physically in person.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It is interesting. I was managing a team remotely for years, and keeping it fun is part of it, right? But setting those expectations are great. I love the idea of really thinking about how would you typically work when you're on site, and kind of transferring a lot of those typical thoughts and best practices to the remote work field. So really good stuff. Also, the tools that you mentioned, Zoom being a great tool. Some of the technology out there today that's supporting remote work, from talent acquisition to interview platforms like the one we're on today, assessment tools, on and offboarding tools. A lot of those were designed a few years ago, thinking about the future of work being remote. So really cool stuff.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest surprises, I think, coming over to Toptal was, I've always come from a very email-centric culture, and we don't even use emails internally. Our primary form of communication, we use a technology called Slack, and it's really great because you don't have to read through all the different replies in an email. You go up to the Slack channel and you can see the real time, what's the next step, who owns what action. You can post documents to it and things like that. And we're also very big on the Google Suite too, where you're making real-time edits. You don't have to work on version 1, version 2, on any sort of presentation. You can collaborate across the world, literally across the world, and have those updates real-time in any given document that we're working on. So there's a lot of really good technology innovations that are making remote-based work possible.
So true. So true. Well, yeah, these are great points. And I think, with every new situation, there is change management involved. There's, getting used to, working remotely for a lot of people that have been on site for a long time. And it looks like the future, is absolutely going to be more remote work. I know companies will have to, go back to an on-site model in some regards. But any final thoughts on remote work and what you see?
Well, I mean, remote work is no longer an experiment, right?
Yeah.
We're here in the now. It's now every company needs to have a remote-based process today's age to survive. And I think as we recover from the COVID pandemic, a lot of people are changing their mindset on they want to be able to work remotely. They're going to be more empowered to go back to their leadership within the organization to work remotely. And I think what we're seeing is that the companies that we've been working with, we haven't seen a significant slowdown because they've already embraced the remote work philosophy. So they're continuing to perform at levels that they were performing before, and they're continuing to engage the remote-based talent because they've already adopted these strategies. And I think we're going to see more of that as the future unfolds.
I completely agree. So great. And I appreciate all that insight. It's really meaningful. I also invite the audience watching to check out staffing.com, a Toptal website that offers some really cool insights and thought leadership around many topics, but remote work being one of the big ones there. Really cool stuff. And thank you, Rory, for joining the discussion.
Thank you, Andy.
All right.
And staffing.com, we've taken our 10 years of remote-based experience and we created a playbook that is accessible for anybody to be able to download. So there's about 100 pages of real content around people and tools and communication. And it's very well laid out. It's taking our 10 years of experience and putting into a concise document.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again. Bye, everyone.